Choo-choo, my friends, and welcome aboard here at Etheria Station. I am Fastidious, and welcome to my free-to-play shop guide for every weekly reset in this game. As in many gachas and just video games of this genre, do not just have pay-to-win shops, but they also have certain kind of redeem shops using different currencies you earn throughout the game. And yeah, Etheria Restart is no exception. Let's head into the shop and let's get right into it. Actually, starting with the pay-to-win shop, once a week, every week, if you go to value selection, they give you one anima prototype, one normal summon, and 50,000 Etheria coins for free. There's one other place we get some freebies in the pay-to-win shop, and that is here under weekly pack. There is one thing you don't need to use any currency for at all, and that is this free mental stabilizer and 50,000 Etheria coin. This is just, you get it once a week, log in, click the button. As for what you can buy with your Hydra Crystals here in the weekly pack, there is a 10 pull of Anima prototype, and this is 20% off. Typically, it costs 1,000 Hydra Crystal, but once a week you can buy this for just 800. That basically saves you 2 summons. It saves you 200 Hydra Crystal. That's pretty dang nice. This one I want to circle back to, though I do like buying it. The one I always buy is this down here, the Crystal Supply 2. This is going to be 5 Apex prototypes for 1,200. As it stands now, the only way you can get LD summons for Hydra Crystals is by using them on the specific LD rate up banners. When those come around, it is 3,000 Hydra Crystals for a 10 pull, or you can use your 1,200 every week for 5 over here. So if you do some math, a 10 pull, if you were to get 2 of these over 2 weeks, is going to cost 2,400 Hydra Crystal, when normally the 10 pull on a limited LD rate up, like we're getting for Lilium at the time of filming this, that is going to cost 3,000. So you are saving 600 Hydra Crystal, 600 of your premium currency, aka it is 20% off. As a free-to-play who of course loves to pull and does not have very many LD SSRs at all, to me this is a must-buy every week. It feels steep, but this is the only reliable way to get LD summons every single week. Now to circle back to the Crystal Supply 1, this is a 10 pull at 20% off. At the time of filming this, I've been playing for just about 2 months. The game is coming up on its 2-month anniversary since global launch, and I still need to fill out my roster. I'm missing several key non-LD SSRs, and I'm missing every single LD SSR in this game besides Heinrich and Mio, so this is still a very attractive option. I do want to point out though, if your roster is already very full, or you're watching this in the future and you've been playing for a while and your roster is full, I think this value will go down a lot. Unless the anima pool continues to grow at a very rapid pace, which Jack, the head developer, basically confirmed it will not, I do think you'll reach a point where you have enough units already and you're earning enough free-to-play summons every 3-week cycle between these limited banners that this will not be the most necessary buy. But at this point, I am not at that point, so let's purchase that right now. Finally, let's go to the exchange shop. This is our proper free-to-play shop. It is using non-premium currencies, non-dollar bills to actually get stuff. And let's start off with the Union shop. Here you are going to use your Union coins. This is a universal currency you earn through your weekly quest and doing things with your Union, such as United Front and the Union Boss. There's a lot of good stuff in here, and so far in the 7 weeks, 8 weeks I've been playing this game, in a Union that's been performing well, but not that well, I've never been in a position where I was failing to get the key things that I want from this shop. So what are those key things, and which is the order I purchase them in? So the order of importance, in my opinion. What is my priority? First things first, you've got to always start in this game with the perfect lattices. So here you can buy every week a bundle of 5 fragments 3 times. That comes out to 15 perfect lattice fragments, which is just less than 1/3 of a perfect lattice. It's going to take 50 to redeem these for a full one. It's stingy for sure, but this is something that is an absolute must buy every single week. Perfect lattices are such a hard resource to get your hands on in this game, and then you have so many units you want to put them on. So I start there, and next up is going to be the 5-star red shadow print. This is 5-star fodder. You can see I can't get it yet, but we're only 2 days into the week at the time of filming. I promise if you stay on top of your weekly stuff and you are in a fairly active guild, not even a super active guild, you will easily purchase this. After that, I like to go to the evolution lattices over here. These are our SR lattices. You can get 2 of them for 1,000 each. I really suggest you do this. Again, each week since I've been playing, I've never failed to buy all those things I've mentioned so far. The 3 bundles of 5 perfect lattice fragments, then the red shadow print, then the 2 evolution lattices. If you add this all up, these 3 bundles of 5, that comes out to 900 coins, and each one of these 3 things comes out to 1,000 a piece, so we're talking 3,900 coins. Those are the main things you want to buy. After that, my priority goes buying these singular summons, these anima prototype for 100 each, so you can get all 3 for 300. Then I like to go for the 5-star shadow print. And after that, it's kind of what do I need at that point in the game. If I am low on star materials, I'll pick up some purple shadow prints that I can craft into orange shadow prints eventually if I need. If I'm low on coins, I'll pick up coins. If I'm low on investigation records, I'll pick those up. If I'm low on prowess materials, I'll pick up some supply packs. I feel like after you get those key things done, the lattices, then the red shadow print, then the evolution lattices, and then if you're like me, the 3 summons, you can kind of determine what do you need in that moment. Heck, if you're at the point where you don't need a summon as much, you could even skip the summons. It is up to you. It all depends upon your account. Next up, we have the summon shop. Technically, this is a free-to-play spot. However, if you don't get to summon that much because you're proper free-to-play, you're not going to have that many of this currency. These anima crystals over here, this shop resets every 2 weeks. And as you can see, I struggle to have enough to get what I need from it. And what do you need from it? You need this perfect lattice. So I think a goal should be, if you're summoning with some frequency, to be able to buy at least the perfect lattice each week. And then I would just save everything for the next rotation when hopefully you can buy another perfect lattice. If you're pay to win or somehow you just summon all the time and you have a ton of this currency, the next place you could go after the perfect lattice would be the red shadow print or picking up some Apex prototypes. But this is a real luxury purchase, and I think most people cannot afford to do that. Simply make sure you can get the perfect lattice as frequently as possible. Next up, we have the arena shop. To me, this one's incredibly straightforward. You're going to get a lot of arena coins every week, even some at the end of the week. You can roll over to the next. You can see that here with me. I've got about 13,000. We're going to obviously first buy the perfect lattice each week. After that, I think the next most important is going to be the evolution lattice. This is our SR lattice. And then an underrated thing, you don't have to do this forever, but when you're starting playing or it's your first month or 2 or 3, picking up some of these micro lattices is pretty clutch, I think. These are very hard to earn free to play. This is the only consistent farm in the game. These are the skillet materials needed to skill up a rare unit, an R-type unit. As it stands now, there aren't many you might want to invest in, but units like Vice and Kachi certainly are getting a lot of play in the game right now, and you probably want to just fully skill them up. It's pretty cheap to do it. You can buy all 5 every week for $12.50, and I suggest you stock up at least enough to max out 2 Rs, and then keep an eye on the meta and keep an eye on which Rs you might want to eventually use. But like I said, there's no other really reliable way to farm up this resource. I guess there's the summon shop as well, but frankly, I don't even know how I got the first 12 or so that I have. Or I guess it was 7, and I've bought these before. Maybe it was from the hyperlink quest, something like that. But picking these up at least a few times, a few weeks in the Etheria shop after you get the other key things is very nice. After that, I would go for the anima prototype. Then I would go for the orange shadow print, and then you do whatever you want. One thing you could certainly do if you're getting sick of shell farming all the time, you can pick up some training data. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I find this shop not to be the hardest thing to max out each week, or at least get all the key resources. Quickly now, we have the Summit Arena shop. This is where you use the currency you farm in the real-time arena. And as you can see right behind my head here, you can farm up just by battling in RTA 2,000 of these red emblems for the shop every single week. On top of your 2,000 weekly emblems, you can additionally get even more from your quest rewards, your rank up rewards as you progress through a season, and finally, your settlement rewards at the season's end. The Summit Arena shop resets every month, so you have a lot longer to purchase it out, and comfortably you will get a minimum of 5,000 emblems a month if you do any amount of real-time arena play, so you can get the 2 main things without a doubt. The top priority is going to be buying this perfect lattice. There are a total of 50 perfect lattice fragments here, aka 1 full perfect lattice. This is a must buy. And after that, I would suggest buying the Apex prototypes. These obviously are incredibly difficult to get free to play. This is one reliable monthly source of Apex prototypes. You can get 5 every month for 1,500 emblems. In total, that comes out to 4,500 emblems. Like I said, everyone should get at least 5,000 a month. That gives you 500 left over Personally, I like to go for the Anima prototype. Also, keep in mind, you're very likely going to have more than 500 left over. If you perform well, you will get many more emblems. The other options to buy besides the Anima prototype once you've gotten these two would be the Anima crystal points. I find these to be incredibly expensive. This is a really intense investment. You can go for it though if you want to chip away at something guaranteed slowly. And then the final purchase option, it might be these reconfig chips. I think the price is kind of insane at $150 for only 5, but we all know you will reach a point in the game where you need these desperately. So unless something changes in the way they deliver these reconfig chips to us, this may be a worthy buy for certain players. The final two shops here are the Anima Shop. This is very hard to stockpile resources for free to play. These things over here, the Anima Crystal Points, the only way we've been able to get them outside of the Hyperlink quest where we got like 5,000 during that Leanne quest line to begin the game is really Real Mocha's Candy Shop bingo event thing that we do with the little gumball machine and all that. And it takes a while to slowly build these up. I personally am just never going to spend them until I find a reason to very specifically need to spend them. One quick tip I want to put out, and shout out to my editor, Mitchell, is you might feel a strong desire, a strong inclination to spend this currency on your LD SSRs. Like if you have Mio or Lily, you might want to pick up a dupe of them. But unless you're pay to win, you're going to be very strapped for this resource all the time. And for the cost of picking up one dupe, one prowess point of an LD SSR, you can get 3 of any RGB unit. So if there's a unit that is very stat hungry like Tiamat over here, or there's someone that has a really clutch prowess that you're very close to, like a crit rate boost or a crit damage boost on a DPS, that is something you can consider. It's a pretty crazy investment to spend 15,000 of these on an LDSSR if you're not a big spender. Finally, we have the module shop. You can see I've never spent any of these, and as it stands now, I don't really see a reason to spend any of these, but also no reason to hoard the resource if you want to spend them. So basically, if you're still progressing through the game and there is a specific threshold your account is struggling with, you can pick up some of the best gear from that threshold right here in the module shop. So let's say you're having a hard time farming Aurora. Maybe you want to pick up some momentum gear or fury gear or bulwark gear, but for everyone else, once you're done progressing, probably just spend it on Swift Rush gear and hope you get really lucky and get some triple roll into speed or quad roll or quintuple roll, something beautiful like that. There's no real other use for this at this point. I don't find that to feel very worthy, so I'm going to keep hoarding it in case they add something here one day. I'm not counting on that happening, but there's nothing here that is alluring enough to me to make me want to spend my modules. We're talking 12 pieces of gear, 12 modules, doesn't really matter. The absolute final thing to shout out, and then we are done here, is going to be the rotating event shop. So we have it right now in the Dazzler puzzle. And when this event comes up and a couple other events in the past, you can go to the Harmony bundle, which is a strictly pay to win shop, but they will have a couple freebies. So you can see here right when the event opened, they had the Blues Fusion bundle. You could get 1 mental stabilizer and 50,000 coins. This was totally for free. And then they have the Soul Funk bundle. This is the same thing as the Crystal Supply 1. It's a 10 pull and 50,000 coins, and it is 200 crystals off for those 10 summons, aka 20% off. I think this is a solid pickup, but again, it might be the kind of purchase you outgrow when you get deeper and deeper into the game. That is going to be it, folks, for our free-to-play guide on all the free-to-play shops in Etheria Restart. I've been Fastidious. This has been Etheria Station. Share with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.